Hey everybody, welcome back to Cool's Reviews. Now today we are back talking Shark Week. I'm sure you can tell by my background. But today we are going to be talking Shark Week Night 5, which was Thursday, July 25th, and again featured three brand new episodes, which were Surviving Jaws, Caught Shark Strike Back, and Frankenshark. Alright, so kind of going back to my thoughts on last night, if you guys watched that episode, I was a bit worried about tonight's episodes just kind of based on the trailers and the names of the episodes and what I thought they entailed. And I don't know if my fears were totally like pushed aside. There's definitely some stuff that I don't like with tonight's episodes. It is kind of the opposite of yesterday where everything was so good and it was kind of hard to pick the winner. This one is kind of similar where they're kind of not all terrible, but kind of like middle of the road, with one maybe just a hair better, which is maybe not being kind enough to the one I do think is the best. But we will start off with episode one, which was Surviving Jaws. As I had said yesterday, kind of just seeing the trailer and reading the brief synopsis, seemed like maybe it was diving into Mythbusters territory again, which we've seen. It's really fun when we get to talk about Jaws. I have a whole playlist about it, so I'm sure it'll pop up somewhere. And this year was the 50th anniversary, so it does make sense to bring it up in Shark Week. I just was afraid we would get a retread of that one, and it didn't feel like it. I mean, 100% did not feel like it. Some of it is kind of just sharing some of the history of Jaws with actual footage, tying it in with its 50th anniversary. And then I would say the tests that were done were different than, I guess, if they did the same ones in Mythbusters, I don't remember. One of the first tests was just kind of seeing what sharks were more attracted to, bright colors, or they tried like a swimsuit that looked like it was just bare skin. And the shark did not go for that one. It was, I guess, more interested in the bright skin one. And they tried with contrast. And this one, I guess, is an okay test. It just didn't seem like it really hit what the movie scenario was when she's first killed in the ocean. I mean, she's swimming in the ocean, like wide open, whereas they're in a cage. Yeah, it's plexiglass, but you can still see the cage around it. And they do go into some other tests, including just seeing how a white shark would mess up a boat, which they show that, yeah, depending on the size of the white shark and I guess the size of the boat, if it's a smaller boat and it's a big white shark and it really wants to, probably can do some good damage, which there are, stories of that kind of thing happening. So overall, this one wasn't terrible. It definitely was better than I think I had thought it was going to be, but I would say probably more on the lines of like a 6, where it's a solidish episode, just not like great. Doesn't take it didn't take that like next step to move up into that next echelon, but I think it did an okay job at what it was trying to do. And at least I think our hosts were pretty entertaining, and that always helps. It just helps make the episode feel that much better. The next one was Caught Shark Strike Back, which is an episode looking at, viral videos or just videos. I don't know if they were sent in, but some of them are definitely viral videos of people interacting with sharks, sometimes shark attacks themselves. Who, and this one was really, I don't think it really disappointed my expectations, but my expectations weren't very high. I would say, kind of right off the bat, this is a 5 out of 10 episode. Not terrible, but just some of the videos, like people are clearly doing the wrong thing. And I get it. Like you get panicked, but like they're splashing around and just like freaking out. And I was like, but it was kind of nice to see the experts be like, yeah, this is the wrong thing to do if you see a shark. I get you're scared. It's a really scary thing. You're in the middle of the ocean, you can see the sharks, but just don't do that because it's going to attract the sharks. There is the footage outside of Chile where the lady does get attacked by a white shark, which I remember seeing on, I don't even know, so many different shows growing up with animals attacks or maybe even shark attacks, but this is one that would always pop up and it really stuck with me. This one, I think overall the episode was okay. It does feel a bit theatrical and a bit kind of choppy. Like, were all these videos actually part of the same video? I mean, that's just maybe it's the editing, but I mean, yeah, sometimes they're showing like, and then the shark returns and it's like the same footage we just saw. So it's like, did it? Like, or did they just not capture it? I don't know. It just felt kind of choppy and like reusing some footage and definitely trying to build up more suspense than maybe there really was in some of them. But like I said, it is nice that they at least had experts in it to discuss their thoughts on what they were seeing and just giving some tips. A, you should do this, or B, you shouldn't do this. So, not terrible, but just definitely middle of the road. And hey, at least for it, it is still much better than Dancing with Sharks, which kept trying to pop up tonight. I was like, no, get that out of here. I don't want to watch that. And then finally was Frankenshark, which I think was like the surprise episode of the night. Definitely the one that I liked the best. I would say this one would be a 7 out of 10. Maybe not in the top echelon of the Shark Week 2025 episodes, but a pretty solid episode. And I think what I like, kind of going back to the last one too, is there's a big diversity of sharks in the past two episodes. The first one, again, it's going to be about great white shark because that's what Bruce was in Jaws, but I'm fine with that. As you guys know, I love Jaws. But yeah, it was really, really nice to see just a wide net of sharks being looked at finally and just giving some more love to other sharks. This one gave love to a lot of different sharks. Maybe they didn't have big roles, but it definitely at least shouted them out. This one was about a group of scientists coming together and trying to create like the ultimate shark that could fight and beat an orca one on one. Which, of course, I guess, kind of spoiler, it does beat the orca. But again, if they were going to make this episode, did you expect anything else? Like, did you expect them to say, no, our shark is not good enough and it lost to the orca? It clearly was going to win. It's kind of like that Jaws versus series that they do where you're like, yeah, of course it's going to win it. It's Shark Week. So yeah, they take a look at different aspects of the shark to create this big monstrosity of an animal. And it's big because they do look at frame. So they pick the whale shark over like the blunt nose six gill and the Greenland, mainly because those ones aren't the quickest of swimmers, but the whale shark isn't really the quickest of swimmers either. It's going to be a little bit quicker than the other two, but it just was like, not super quick either, but it is much, much larger. So at least it gets the size on the orca. And then it hopped on to teeth, which they had to pick between a couple. One of the ones they threw out there was cookie cutter, which is a very unusual one. I thought that one was a nice little shout out, gave it some like time in the sun or whatever, but definitely wasn't going to be the teeth they were going for. And if we're talking teeth, there's probably two sharks that come to mind, the great white and tiger, which is what it came down to. But I'm really glad to say that they went with the tiger shark based on like how the teeth work and just like how they're able to saw through objects. And I was like, yes, finally giving some love to the tiger shark. And I kind of like one-on-one comparison with the white shark. So super cool there. The next one was aggression. One of the sharks brought up was angel shark. And I think this is kind of falling into the territory that each of these are going to have kind of an unusual shark that just doesn't get into the limelight as much. Even though in the first one, I guess the blunt nose would be the unusual one, because now the Greenland shark has a lot more of a limelight. Like more people know about it than they used to, like even 10 years ago. So this really came down to two sharks, which was the bull shark and the oceanic whitetip. Yeah, finally, guys. I know I've been saying all week where are our oceanic whitetips, and they kind of made a brief appearance last night, but yeah, tonight they do kind of give like a little section. Not big. And when compared to the bull shark, we know a lot more about bull sharks due to their environment, and they definitely have the reputation for being aggressive or just high strong and really kind of due to the amount of testosterone they had with Animal Face Off. If you remember that one, it was another reason they thought the bull shark could maybe beat the hippo. It didn't, but they at least thought it might be able to. And so, yeah, the bull shark does come out victorious there, which A little bummer on the oceanic white tip, but yeah, I get it. Like if there's one shark you're gonna lose to aggression with, no shame in losing to a bull shark. So, and that brought into the like superpowers, which was won by the great hammerhead and the cephalofoil that they have, where it branches out and gives them the 360-degree kind of vision. And so they put that on there, and then the final one did have like a like thresher shark type of tail. So again, thresher sharks use those to stun prey. So this is a wacky looking shark, and if it showed up on Sci-Fi Channel or like The Asylum and somewhere in one of their movies, it makes sense. And it actually kind of melds together nicer than I thought it would have. And like I said, they do have it face off against an orca and just like dismantle it. It like whips it with the tail and then moves in with the teeth and rips it apart and swims away. So kind of where we thought it was going to go. As for the night, it was kind of what I thought it was going to be, but again, I think a couple of these episodes were a step up from where I thought they'd be, and the Frankenshark definitely was a kind of strong episode. It's in the contenders for the better episodes. I just don't know if it's in the very like that peak of the top episodes this year. But I thought it was really good and at least gave some spotlight to some other sharks. And hey, it brought up the oceanic white tip, so you guys knew I was already gonna like it. So yeah, there's night 5. We got a couple more nights of Shark Week 2025. I am still really excited to see where this week goes, and we'll be back the next 2 to discuss where it did go. But until next time, guys, for more Cool's reviews, click the link to your left. For more about us here at Cool's Paranormal, click the link to your right. And don't forget to hit that like and give us a subscribe. And let us know. Do you think the Frankenshark would have actually beaten the orca? Tell us in the comments below.